so very much. I have to tell you, looking across this room, I see so many of our community leaders, and I just want to acknowledge Congresswoman Nan Hayworth, who's sitting with Mr. Dyson over here. As I see our community leaders, the Health Quest board members, leadership of the medical staff, I just want to say thank you so much for all your support. And Mike Weber, I cannot thank you enough for the privilege of being able to say I am the president of Vassar Brothers Medical Center. It is an honor and a privilege, and I'm going to just tell you a little bit about who I am and why this is so important to me. When I graduated from Columbia School of Business and School of Public Health, I was recruited on campus, and I moved to the Midwest. I worked for a hospital system, and hospital systems were new at the time. I stayed for 5 years, and I was their golden girl because I didn't understand that when people gave you complex projects, that you didn't have to know it all and do it all, but I did. So I quickly earned a solid reputation, but like Dorothy and Oz, I'm a Valley girl, I'm from the Hudson Valley, and I wanted to come back home. So I came to New York on a weekend, put in 2 resumes. Coincidentally, there were 2 opportunities in the Hudson Valley at the time. One, the Director of Planning at Vassar Brothers Hospital. The second, Vice President Administration at Hudson Valley Hospital Center. 8 weeks later, I got a call from Hudson Valley Hospital. 12 weeks later, that's where I worked. Never heard from Vassar Brothers Medical Center. But I have to tell you, when I came back to the Hudson Valley region and I looked at all of healthcare, I said to myself, I want to work in Poughkeepsie. Whatever is happening at Vassar Brothers Medical Center, it is progressive, it is changing, and I someday want to be part of it. And that was in the early 90s, so I cannot tell you that I'm proud and honored. I can only tell you that standing here today truly for me is a dream come true. Because I learned about Vassar in the early days when we were starting cardiac services. It's cardiac catheterization lab. So it's a privilege to stand here, and it's a privilege to speak about the past and our promising future. Vassar Brothers Medical Center is celebrating firsts. In 1887, when Matthew and John Guy Vassar endowed Vassar Brothers Medical Center and the hospital doors first opened, they really started a legacy. So many generations of Hudson Valley residents have really benefited from the services that Vassar Brothers Medical Center provides. It is a hospital of firsts, but more importantly, it's a hospital of excellence. And we are celebrating 125 years of firsts. Vassar Brothers was the first hospital to develop critical care services in the area. Those critical care services expanded to intensive care units, cardiac care units, cardiothoracic ICUs, cardiothoracic step-down units, surgical step-down units, and it really began to create the platform for everything Vassar Brothers Medical Center is today. We have at our hospital hospitalists and intensive care physicians, intensivists, whose dedication and focus is caring for the sickest of the sick. They are inside the hospital each and every day, and they provide an excellent level of quality service, high caliber medical care to care for the sickest in the community. Our radiation oncology center, it was the first in the region. It opened in about 1968, and from there provided the platform for us to develop a comprehensive cancer center. And that is what we are proud of today. 17% of hospitals can boast of that, and we're honored. We have advanced cardiac services. Again, it began with the development of the cardiac cath lab, which allowed us to move forward and develop a cardiothoracic surgery program, recognized nationally. And here's Matthew and John Guy Vassar. 125 years later, what would they have to say? What would they think of the amazing healthcare organization that Vassar Brothers Medical Center is today? And here's an aerial shot. I put this in for a reason. In the forefront, you'll be able to see our Westage Medical Building, medical office building. In the background is our new Center for Ambulatory Services, and adjacent to it is an 800-plus car parking garage. Now, this is a treasure for all of our employees. And the reason it is, before we opened this garage in January, We would say, gee, Janet Reddy's parking in the cemetery lot, but she's been an employee for 6 years, we can move her to the Buffalo lot. And people moved within a mile radius of the hospital from lot to lot to lot, depending upon their seniority. So it was tremendously exciting when in January we actually provided a parking garage close to the hospital, and nobody really has to take the snow off their cars any mornings any longer. And in the center of this, you will see the main hospital and the Dyson Center for Cancer Care. What I want to draw your attention to is that when Vassar Brothers Medical Center first opened, we provided service to 80 patients. Today, we have well over 305,000 patient visits. It is amazing. And we are celebrating not only our firsts, but also our first and onlys. There are so many advances that have been made that really separate Vassar Brothers Medical Center from so many community hospitals. We have a high-risk maternal fetal medicine service. We also have a neonatal intensive care unit, a level 3 neonatal intensive care unit that actually supports our high-risk maternity center. And we opened this August a dedicated pediatric hospitalist program that mirror images our adult hospitalist program. And what has this done for us? That service has drawn more and more families and more physicians to choose Vassar Brothers Medical Center for pediatric care. Our pediatric department is growing at a time when most hospitals are actually looking across the nation at eliminating pediatric services. But we are making an investment in our future. We are making an investment in our maternal child health services. And of course, cardiology. Cardiology, we really in this market have provided excellence in our cardiac services throughout. Starting with primary cardiology, and our open heart program is tops in the state. The physicians and the team that provide cardiology are second to none. And we have many distinctions. You can see them listed there. Wouldn't the Vassar Brothers be proud to see how national organizations have evaluated our hospital and the progress we have made throughout the years? Most recently, Forbes magazine. Forbes has identified Vassar Brothers as the fastest growing medical center and an economic driver. How amazing is that? And this is a great story. There are so many ordinary miracles, as I call them, at Vassar Brothers Medical Center. But I chose this one because I think it celebrates life. And as we're celebrating the legacy of the Vassar Brothers, I thought it was only fitting. And also, if you look at these babies, they actually look like full-term babies. But let me tell you the story. And this story could not have happened 18 months ago. It works like this. We get a phone call. It comes into our maternity center. It's a couple from Sullivan County. They had delivered their first child 4 years ago at Vassar Brothers Medical Center. And they were pregnant again. And they wanted to deliver at Vassar Brothers Medical Center a second time. Only one complication. This time it wasn't one baby, it was 4. Vassar Brothers Medical Center has never, ever delivered quadruplets. And quite frankly, we debated whether or not we could. Did we have the right infrastructure? We knew we had the medical talent, we knew we had the nursing talent. Could we make it happen? The team from Maternal Child Health, our maternal fetal medicine expert, Dr. Kim Heller, our obstetricians, Jed Turk, and all our obstetricians, our neonatologists, Dr. Kovacs and the team, and all the leaders met to say, how can we do this? Can we create a planned delivery for quadruplets here at the hospital? And that answer was a resounding yes. And it really speaks to the spirit of the organization, because so many people, physicians, nursing staff, and others, carried beepers, not for a day, not for a week, for months. They carried their beepers because they didn't know when these babies were going to come. But the team stood ready to come into the hospital at any moment and deliver quadruplets, a first for Vassar Brothers Medical Center. And coincidentally, it happened on a weekend. Most great acts happen on weekends for some reason, and this one certainly did. It was a weekend. It was actually a Sunday night. It was about 9:45 at night. And I know because I happened to be at the hospital with Margaret Cusimano, our chief nursing officer. Why were we there? Well, we had another first. It was the weekend that we brought online our first electronic electronic medical system, our electronic record system for the hospital, and registration system. So there was a great deal of activity at Vassar Brothers Medical Center that Sunday night. And all of a sudden, we knew it was time the quads were going to be delivered. What was fascinating is Margaret Cusimano looked at me and said, "What are we going to do?" I said, "Margaret, I don't think we have to do anything. I think everything and anything we need to do has been done. We just need to cheer everyone on." And it was amazing. We delivered those 4 babies and they went to our NICU. There was one of the nurses who was providing support for the Cerner implementation, our electronic medical system, and she turned to me and she said, I'm at Emory University. She says, "I'm working our high-risk perinatal center at Emory University. Maternal fetal medicine is my expertise. I've never seen anything like this. Do you realize what happened here tonight?" It was truly amazing. And I have to tell you, Margaret and I did have a contribution. Our contribution was that our new registration system could not band one mom to 4 babies. And we fixed that. We fixed that. So it really speaks to the spirit of our organization. I mean, quite frankly, it's all about people. And more patients are choosing Vassar Brothers Medical Center. Just look at these numbers. 2,300 deliveries, 2,300 babies are born annually at the hospital. We are the largest maternity service between Albany and the city. 20,000 patients are hospitalized each year. And our emergency department is the busiest in the region. We see 70,000 emergency visits each and every year. There is no busier service. And we perform 400 open hearts. Our open heart program is quite frankly growing a little bit at a time when the entire market for open heart surgery is shrinking. And that is because of the collaboration among HealthQuest and hospitals within the system and our reach. This, I think, is a real fascinating slide because it says a lot. What it essentially says is it's all about outcome. And we have excellent, excellent clinical outcomes. The light blue on this graph shows what the expected mortality would be based on the mix of patients who are at Vassar Brothers Medical Center. The dark blue shows our actual experience rate, what actually is our mortality. So to summarize it, what it really says is if 100 patients are admitted to Vassar Brothers Medical Center, of 100 patients, 30 more patients go home to their families, 30 more patients leave the hospital, then statistically these patients should not be able to go home. Statistically, they should be deceased. And people want to come to Vassar Brothers Medical Center. That's what this slide shows. We are a hospital of preference. When the community, the broad community of the Hudson Valley is asked, what hospital is top of mind? Vassar Brothers Medical Center is the clear choice. And this is also exciting because not only are patients in our community choosing to use the hospital, other community hospitals are looking to us more and more as being that advanced medical care hospital. We have partnered with many community hospitals, and in April of last year, we established a one-call transfer center. And we have seen over 200 more transfers in a 9-month period alone. So more and more, we are positioning ourselves, and we are being seen by the larger community as being that destination hospital, and a hospital that can accept more of the sicker patients in a larger geographic area. So there's a lot to be proud of here at Vassar Brothers Medical Center, and it really does set the stage for our next 125 years. This is our new Center for Ambulatory Services. What does this do for us? What does this do for the community? It really serves 2 main purposes. The first is we, for the very first time, will be able to decant our ORs. We have 12 operating room suites that currently take care of inpatients and outpatients. And what we're now going to be able to do is our outpatients will have dedicated space. We will have 4 state-of-the-art outpatient ambulatory surgery suites and 1 minor procedure suite, totally separate from the hospital. Our ambulatory surgery patients will no longer be commingled with any of the inpatients. give them a better experience. It'll provide us greater expertise in focusing on that ambulatory surgery market and patient population. What does it do for us on the inpatient side? It gives us the desperately needed capacity to grow our services, the services that Mike spoke about. Growing our neurosurgical services, minimally invasive laparoscopic surgery, our breast reconstruction microsurgery program, all the advanced surgical procedures that we need to be prepared for, we now can. And I have to tell you, I see Dr. Shahani and Zakhow here. I know with certainty that our Chief of Cardiothoracic Surgery, Mohan Sarabo, already is looking at our OR plans, and he is planning the future direction for minimally invasive cardiac surgery. So these are the capabilities that we'll now be able to offer because we have additional space. In addition, the medical office building will provide for about 40 more physicians in our community. Much needed specialties we'll be able to bring close to the hospital. And this project is a $65 million project, but more than that, it really reflects the community and the giving of this community. The campaign is for $15 million, and you can see, under the leadership of Rob Dyson, who's chairing the capital campaign, we're at $14.4 million. Does that not speak volumes about what a phenomenal community this is? Local plans for the future at Vassar Brothers Medical Center. We're going to continue to enhance our quality of care. We're developing new services. We're focusing on degenerative diseases. We're focusing on neurosciences. We're looking to advance our capabilities in cardiology, just to name a few. We are enhancing our access to care. The Center for Ambulatory Services is just one example for that. As we look across the hospital, we look to see how many patients are out migrating for services, and are they high-end services that we can offer locally? Why would we want our community to leave when we can provide excellent services right here in their backyard and have done a tremendous job of doing so? And that really is our focus. Our focus is making sure that we can deliver locally those services that oftentimes you see in a more academic medical center. We are advancing our care initiative. Vassar Brothers Medical Center is working on becoming a destination hospital, establishing relationships among a variety of institutions and really looking and working with our medical staff. A lot of what we do cannot be possible unless the medical staff was at our side. I can assure you the Transfer Center initiative happened because the medical staff said, not only will I be on call for your emergency department for my specialty, I'll accept Transfer Center call as well. Putting additional burdens on our medical staff, but they do it so graciously because it's such a team. It's such a collaboration. We are continuing the legacy, the past, our present, and our future direction is really very, very exciting. As we look forward to the future, I thank you for the opportunity to provide leadership to Vassar Brothers Medical Center. I thank you, Mike, for your support. And I invite anyone in this room, if you would like a personal tour of the hospital, if you would like anything at all, anything I can do for you, I am a phone call away. And if you don't know my number, call the operators. I have a beeper, they have my home phone number, I'm listed in the phone book, but I am here to serve you. And if there's ever anything to do, I certainly would do it. Thank you very much.